And we are live. Happy Friday. And I hope everyone is having a great day. Good day, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time it is for you. Here in Sweden, it is just after 9 p.m. And I'm going to be working on some crochet today. That's what my hands are agreeing with, as it seems. Hey, Cal. Yeah, I'm live now. Let's see. I hope you're having a good day, Cal, and that everything is well with you. I'm having an ordinary Friday, so to say. So I have had, how to say, my middle child, who is 15, has been with me to my job.
Jag hörde på Vendla, men jag vet inte. Ska vi någonstans imorgon? Eller nästa vecka?
Vendla vill åka till Jönköping imorgon.
Okay.
Och sen har vi diskuterat att eventuellt gå på bio för att jag har 4 gratisbiljetter.
Jaha, okej. Får jag följa med då eller vad?
Ja.
Okay.
Men bio är lite oklart ännu om det fanns någon bra skräckfilm eller så att gå på.
Okay.
Och så var det också lite grann om du skulle vilja följa med på bio en gång.
Ja.
Men då kan vi, men då kan vi kika på det sen när vi hittar någonting vi kan. Lunchtid. Okay. Hello money. Sorry, I had my oldest child checking in for a moment to see what we were going to do tomorrow. And like I said, my 15-year-old has been with me to work this whole week because they have this thing in school where it's mandatory when they go when they are in 8th grade. They have to join someone at work for a week, and he was with me this week. So it has been quite a lovely week, actually. It's been fun to have him with me and show what we do at my place of work. And his words about it now was that it was much more fun than he thought it would be. And that he actually liked it more than school. So I guess that's a good compliment by the end of it all. So yeah, that's how my week have been. And well, today it's Friday, and tomorrow we are probably going to see some kind of horror movie, because I have won a couple of free movie tickets. So that's why I put this craft and crime on a Friday instead of a Saturday. But I hope it's okay with you all that we moved it around a little bit. So my plan for this evening is I will be working on this crochet. It will probably take a lot more time than it should be because I'm working in black, and working with black thread is always harder because it's hard to see where to put the needle. But yeah, so that's what I will be doing. And the crime for today, the main crime, we will see. Maybe it will be like the last time, and I suddenly add in an extra one or something. We'll see. But yeah, today the main crime is the torture and murder of Magnus Natschki. So I don't know if you are ready for me to start with today's crime. Send a mushroom emoji for me to see, and we will get going. And oh yeah, please also tell me if you're doing any craft while you watching this or listening into this. It's always fun to know if you're up to something. And hopefully you're up to something good. Yeah, this is it. And any kind of funny shuffling noise in the background is either my dog or my guinea pig, because they like to be, or at least the dog like to be where I am, and the guinea pig happens to be in the same room as I am sitting in right now, because that's the room where she will be the least amount of alone. So okay. Okay. So let's start on the murder of Magnus Natschki, or the torture murder. This is a case that in Sweden it led to a lot of discussions about where your free will starts or ends. Hello, Daniel. And how long you can go and say that you acted because someone else told you to act in a certain way. And you will understand why that is a discussion to be had around this case. Ja, jag är svensk. Trevligt att se dig. But let's start from the beginning. The murder of Magnus Natschki happened in December of 2017. So about to almost 9 years ago. And it started on the morning when Magnus and his friend Felix was at home. And Magnus at the time was 36 years old, and Felix was 22, 23. Hej Sockerbostad, ja, jag är svensk. Men jag gör det här på engelska för mina engelska tittare. And Felix, he was a theater student that lived with Magnus since a few years while back. Hey Linnea. And this morning he was supposed to go to school, but unfortunately he couldn't. He didn't get up in time. He couldn't wake when his alarm clock went off, so he overslept. So in a normal day, Felix wouldn't have been at home, but this day he was. And Magnus is at home and getting ready to start his day. And they hear knocking on the door. And when Magnus goes and opened outside, he sees 3 men, one that's 19, another one that's around 19, and then a little bit older guy that is 33. And these men, they push their way into the apartment and start hitting Magnus more or less right away. They start screaming at him, and they force him to hand over his bank cards, his account numbers for his bank, and something that's in Sweden is called a mobile bank ID. That's a kind of digital ID thing that you can have to log in on your bank account and stuff like that. Tjena allihopa. Det är skitbra med mig. Det är fredag kväll för fan. Och jag kör lite true crime och grejer här nu. Som sagt, på engelska, men skriv på svenska om ni vill. Ni vet att jag kan läsa det. And the reasoning these 3 men had to why they went to Magnus and why they started to hit him and why they wanted money is that they claimed that a female friend of theirs that also known Magnus had told them that Magnus had raped her children, 2 of her daughters. And there was no merit to this at all, no evidence at all. And Magnus was also gay, so he had no interest in any kind of girl or female at all. And I don't understand the logic in this man, but they also said that because he was gay, he was a pedophile. And that's why he had molested these girls. So they were there to have some kind of revenge, to revenge these girls. And the money they wanted to take from him was supposed to be for the girls, some kind of retribution for this that they claimed that he had done. When the 3 men realized that Felix was also in the apartment, they started to also threaten and beat Felix. So they put both of these guys, both Felix and Magnus, at chairs in the kitchen. and they start screaming at them both, hitting them, and after a few hours, they force both Magnus and Felix into a car, and they drive this car from Gothenburg, where Magnus and Felix lived, to a smaller town in Sweden outside, a small town in Sweden called Uddevalla. And there they had a kind of a safe house out in the forest. And they bring Magnus and Felix into this house, where they continue to torture, especially Magnus, in different ways. But they force Felix to watch, and they continuously tell Felix that if he tries to run away, if he tries to say something, do something, try to save Magnus in any kind of way, they will start torturing him as well. And if they can't get Felix to behave out of the fear of his own life, he should also know that they know where Felix's family lives, and they will also find Felix's dad, for example, and try to kill him. So they're threatening Felix over and over again, while they also show how violent they are towards Magnus. And after a few hours in that house, they tell Felix that he has to start to also torture Magnus and hit Magnus. And Felix, of course, doesn't want to do this. Magnus is his friend and roommate, but they say that if he does not compute with this, if he doesn't do what they tell him to do, they will search for Felix's dad and harm him instead. So Felix start with Sockerbostad, as said, they would kill. They want to. They say to Felix that they will kill his parents. And Felix believes them in all of this. He feels like he has no choice, because they, like I said, they again and again show just how far they are ready to go, and they start to up the violence more and more. And when we now have been around 12 hours of this violence against Magnus, one of the 19-year-olds tells Magnus and Felix to get into a car. But this time Magnus is very badly hurt already, and he can't try to do any kind of resistance. And Felix is so afraid, so he just follow along. He thinks that if he tried to do anything against this guy, it will just be even worse for himself. They will kill him, they will kill Magnus, and maybe they will also kill his dad. And this 19-year-old, he takes Magnus and Felix even further out in a forest. And there he forced them out of the car. He takes out his mobile phone and starts to record a movie. And he tells Felix over and over again, you will have to kill Magnus. You have to kill Magnus. And he gives Magnus, he gives Felix an axe, and says to Felix, use this on Magnus. It's time for Magnus to die for the crimes he has committed, and you need to do it. If you don't do it, I will do it, and then I will kill you, and then I will kill your father. And all like I said, all this is recorded on this guy's cell phone. And after a while, Felix says that he felt that he had no way out. He tried to argue and tried to say that he didn't want to do it, and he felt like he had no way out. So he look at Magnus and says to Magnus, can you please take your hands down? Because Magnus is standing on his knees and holding his hands over his face and is just crying. And Felix says, please can you take your hands down? Because he wants to be able to hit Magnus in the head with the axe to kill him instantly. So it won't be as much pain for Magnus. And Magnus does as Felix says, and they look each other in the eyes. And Felix says to Magnus, I am so sorry. And Magnus just answers, this is not your fault. This is not your fault. And then Felix takes the axe and chops Magnus in the head and in the neck about 4 times. And Magnus dies from the injuries. After Magnus is dead, this 19-year-old takes the axe from Felix. They leave Magnus' body where it is in the forest, and he forces Felix to join him back to the safe house. And they take the car and they drive to Malmö, and from Malmö to Copenhagen, and then from Copenhagen into Germany. And now it's the day after the killing. So now it's, I think, 7th of December. And when they getting closer to a red light, they are now in Germany in a little bit of a bigger town. The car has to slow down a little bit, but when they're closing into this red light, and Felix sees his chance, so he opened the door, and while the car is still running, he's throw himself out of the car. And he gets injured, but because of the way he has thrown himself out of the car, these 3 men that was part of this killing and kidnapping of Magnus, they just, pushed the gas pedal to the ground and just run away in full panic. The ambulance get there. They take Felix into the hospital, and when he's at the hospital, he tells the doctor that he need to talk to the police because he has something to confess. So the doctor calls the police. The German police gets over there, and when the police come there and they start to ask what he wanted to tell them and why he has done it, why did he throw himself out of a car, he tells the police that in Sweden he was kidnapped, he was forced to participate in the murder of his friend, and now he managed to escape and he wants to tell the police the whole story. So he has to stay in Germany for a while due to the injuries, but then they release him to Sweden. And the police immediately, understand what this is all about, but they can't find the body of Magnus because Felix didn't know the place that the house was, this safe house was. He didn't really know where the forest was. It was dark when they were there, so he can't really tell the police where the body of Magnus is. So it takes almost 2 months before a private person who is out walking in the forest finds the body of Magnus. And because of the injuries and the place, they can quite fast realize that this is Magnus, but also that the story Felix has been telling them seem to be really close to the truth. And they quite fast also find the 3 other men. And when they take them into custody, this is also the German police that find them first, they find the movie on the cell phone of the murder. So it's quite a heavy load of evidence against the man that was involved in this. But when this goes to trial, in September of 2018, the three men that attacked Magnus first, they broke into his apartment. They, of course, claim they are innocent. They had nothing to do with anything. Even the 19-year-old that filmed everything says that he didn't have anything to do with it. And Felix says that he did kill Magnus, but that he did it because he feared so much for his own life and the life of his family. And in the first trial, they gave 10 years for murder for Felix. The 19-year-old who recorded everything and in the end was the one who forced Felix to commit the murder, he get 12 years for murder, for kidnapping and for robbery. The other 19-year-old that was in the apartment in the beginning, he get 2 years and 10 months for robbery and for kidnapping. And then the 33-year-old, he gets 6 years for, I think the English term is battery, and for kidnapping and for robbery. There also a fourth man, a 42-year-old, but in the first instance, they said they couldn't tie him to the actual crime of the murder of Magnus, but they could find that he had committed narcotic charges. Because that safe house, it was his house. He owned the house, and when they found the house, the police found the house, they also found drugs in the house that belonged to this 42-year-old. But it gives a new trial in a higher court, and this new court, they think that this was a bit too lenient of punishments. So they gave harder punishments for everyone, including the 42-year-old. The 19-year-old got the lesser sentence because of his young age, and Felix got 14 years in prison for murder. But in the end, the court still said that they did take into consideration the threats and the violence against both Felix and Magnus, and how afraid he was, and the fact that he also fled from the man when he found the opportunity to do so. And he helped the police, he turned himself into the police, and so on. But to this day, Felix still believes that he should maybe have gotten a lesser sentence, or even no sentence at all, because of how afraid he was in the situation. And that is also part of why this case have sparked so much debate in Sweden, because a lot of people think that it doesn't matter how afraid you were. This is still on you that you killed someone. And then there's others that think that, of course, if you feel as threatened as he did, you will probably do more or less whatever to save yourself and save your family. And I would argue that the recordings also shows that Magnus felt like the others, like those who defends Felix from his own words when he says that, this is not on you, this is not your fault, så jag vet att det inte är så många som tittar, men jag vet också att hälften av de som tittar just nu är personer som jag känner, som är ifrån Storbritannien och USA. Därför kommer jag fortsätta prata mest engelska. Så ja. Well, Felix, I think will have his possible release next year, if nothing change. Because normally in Sweden you don't sit the full sentence. You get, if there's nothing that's special that happens during your time in prison, you will be released early. So he will probably be out maybe by the end of this year or sometimes next year. And there have been Swedish documentaries about this case where Felix has been interviewed and shared his own thoughts about it all. And he has never changed his story. It has always been that he didn't want to do this. He really loved Magnus. They were very good friends. He is heavily traumatized about this, and he will probably never ever be able to really function normally again after what he did and what he was forced to do and witness during this day. So yeah, that was the murder and the killing of, or the torture and the murder of Magnus Natschki. And for me, this is kind of one of the hardest cases I have ever done when I had my old true crime podcast also, because it's something about the fact that for Felix, that he just accidentally slept in and ended up in this horrible situation. Thinking about how small things can change your life in this kind of way. It's just crazy. Hey Haley, hey Sarah, or Sarah. So I have personally kind of a hard time to grasp how fast your life can really go downhill that bad. And in some ways it's really, the stuff of nightmares, to in Felix's case, he wakes up when he hear the noise and the commotion in the house, and he open the doors and go out to see what is happening, and is suddenly faced with Magnus being hit by 3 men he had never seen before, that he don't know nothing about, and then get dragged into this. It's just yeah. Thank you, Haley. My crazy Swedish English accent. So yeah, exactly, Cal. It's like the survivor guilt, again, the guilt of killing one of his best friends, everything, and that guilt. I mean, it can't get better by the fact that the police, for example, that did the investigation, they go out and in one of the documentaries, they go out and say that we have tried to look at this from different kind of point of views, but we can't understand how someone could be this afraid. Because they think like For example, they stay on the way to this safe house to buy something to eat, and they can be seen in surveillance cameras when they stop and buy this food, and Magnus is forced to pay for everything. And the police goes like, there were other people around, why didn't Felix do anything? Ha det bra, sockerbostad. See you. Yeah, he's like, why didn't he run away when there were other people around? Why didn't he start to scream? Why didn't he do anything? And I get it. Because by that time, when they stop and when the surveillance camera could catch them, Felix has already been beaten himself and forced to witness the torturing of Magnus, where they carved him with a knife, they put boiling water on him, and of course, beat him over and over in different ways, while simultaneously threatening Felix that if you do anything, this will happen to you. If you do anything at all and we can't catch you, this will happen to your father. And Felix and his father is, to this day, really, really close with each other. So I'm like, I get it. For me, I think it's not that different from, a woman that get beaten by her husband for years and years, never dare to flee because she don't feel that she can guarantee the safety of her kids if she flees. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't think it's that crazy or weird that fear can make you do something like this. And in the end, Felix has to live with the fact that he chose his father over Magnus. Also, because that's what Felix himself also came back to in interviews and stuff like that later, that if it had only been about him being killed or Magnus being killed, he wouldn't have done it. Then he would just have said, okay, kill me. Because he was so certain of that they would kill him anyway. And he was like, when they forced him to join him in the car going to Germany, and they said the end goal was going to Amsterdam and party. He was like, as soon as they feel that they don't have any use of him anymore, they will kill him. That was the conviction that the Felix had all this time, and that he had to act in ways to make himself live as long as possible, so that these three men wouldn't find a reason to look for Felix's father and kill him. So like I said, in the end, the choice Felix did was not his life or Magnus' life. It was his father's life or Magnus' life. And I'm not sure that I would do a different kind of choice, actually. Well, in my case, it would probably be more like threatening my kids, of course, but Felix was so young, he didn't have any kids yet. But if he had, I would be sure that they would have also used the kids against him in some way. So yeah. And in the end, no one really knows. This woman who claimed that Magnus had molested her children, it's very, very little known about her or who she was. Just that she was kind of a friend of Magnus. But she's been kept anonymous in the records of this, and The things I know or that I have found out, I can't say for certain if they are true or not, but we have a Swedish website called Flashback, and I would say it's a little bit like maybe 4chan is the most close to what Flashback is. So it's an internet forum with hardly any rules. More or less everything goes on that forum. And the one who created it said he did it with the aim to have a place with total freedom of speech. Because of changes in Swedish laws, he have been forced to put in some rules about what is allowed to be shared and spoken about to comply with Swedish laws. But other than that, you can pretty much write whatever there. And of course, any kind of crime happening in Sweden ends up being discussed at Flashback. And the murder of Magnus Natschki is one of them. And some people there shared that they said that the reason that this woman made up lies about Magnus was that she had previously also been living with Magnus, but they ended up in some kind of disagreement. And because it was Magnus' apartment, he made her leave. So these lies about him molesting her kids would then eventually, maybe, perhaps, be in some kind of revenge for him not letting her stay in his apartment. But I don't know this for sure, but yeah. And a little bit, I would actually want to know more about this woman and her thought about this all, because in some ways she was quite a huge part in why Magnus in the end was killed. And it would have been a little bit interesting to know her feelings about it all, and if she feels any kind of remorse in the way that Felix does, or if she just doesn't care at all about the way her words, what effect they had on his life, on Felix's life, and on Magnus' life. So, and I will say also a little bit that the start of this crime and all of this, oh, he was a pedophile, that's why we did it. That's why I have such a hard time with pedophile hunters. We have two. Oh, sorry. I'm. 1 second. I will show you. So I'm making a bigger version of this. So this is just a little trial thing I did earlier today, and now I'm going to make a big version of this. So that's what I'm trying to do when I can actually see where to put the needle in this black yarn. But yeah, like I was saying, we have two kind of vigilante private persons hunting pedophile groups in Sweden that are big and kind of well known. And one of them is called the Dumpen. And they are, how to say, the nicer ones of these pedo hunters. They are like a Swedish version of how to catch a predator. You know, they go out on the internet, pretends to be kids, arrange meetings with grown-ups, and then when, well, mostly almost just man shows up to these meetings, they confront them, they record them, and then they have a website where they put up the movies and screenshots of the conversations that these men have had with what they thought were children. So that's the less harmful one of these two. And then we have another one that is called Pedo Hunters Sweden. And Pedo Hunters Sweden, they have gone out and said that they are directly inspired by Dumpen, but they think that Dumpen is a bit too nice. So what Pedo Hunters Sweden do is they do more or less the same thing in the beginning. They go out on forums and like Roblox and etc., pretend to be children, talks to grown-ups, arrange meetings, and then goes to these meetings to confront these predators. But where the difference comes in is, first of all, they don't just record these meetings and then publish the meetings. They also jumps these men, start hitting them, and records how they are beating them up. In Pedo Hunter Sweden, they have some kind of point system. So when you record and if you are involved in some kind of beatings, you get points, and from these points you can get like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. Yeah, it's wild. But the second part where they differ a lot from Dumpen is that Pedo Hunter Sweden don't really care about the truth. So there are, just last year, I think there was like 5 cases where they had actually beaten up people that they couldn't tie to actually be predators in any kind of ways. One guy who got really, really badly beaten, he just happened to share the name to someone's nickname on WhatsApp, and that was enough for them, for this hunter group to go to his apartment, break in, and start beating him. In another case, there's a guy that says that he doesn't want to meet with a girl that's 14 and he's 19, and he says over and over again, I don't want to meet, I don't want anyone to think that something could happen between us, you are too young, I'm not interested, again and again and again. And in this chat convo, she's like saying, but I made my mother go away for the night. Now I'm afraid because you will force me to be home alone, and I'm so scared. And can you just come and like watch a movie or something? And he says, after a lot of to and fro in this, he says, okay. But again, like, but I will only stay for a movie. I will not stay the night. Nothing is going to happen. We will just watch a movie and then I will leave. But still, when he shows up, they beat him and said that he's a pedophile and a predator and stuff like that, even though he again and again and again said, you are too young. I am not interested. I do not want to have any kind of relationship with you. So yeah, they are the like more crazy ones. And then we have kind of lone wolf, or I don't know what to call them really, that are inspired by both Dumpen and by Peter Hunter's Sweden, but goes even further. And the guys that murdered Magnus was that kind of love, or what to say. They were not part of Peter Hunter Sweden or of Dumpen or anything like that, but they were inspired by them and by this kill your local pedophile kind of talking. So they, in their mind, it was kind of a fair game to act the way they did, because they could just fall back on, well, Magnus was a pedophile. He was a pedophile, so it's okay to beat him and torture him and kill him. And we have had another case in north of Sweden just a couple of years ago in Boden, where a guy gets murdered, and part of why he dies is because the ambulance couldn't reach him in time, because he was living so far out in like the northern of Sweden. But he got killed by a mother and her sons, because they had just made up this story about this guy being a pedophile. They had no kind of evidence for it, nothing. They had just heard somewhere, somehow, something that they decided meant that he was a pedophile. And because of that, he deserved to be punished and killed. So they stabbed him with knife, and like I said, he bled out and died because the ambulance was too far away. Or not even the ambulance, the police. And because they had stabbed him, the police need to go there first to be able to secure the place before the ambulance can go in. And because the perpetrator was still there, the ambulance couldn't reach him, and the police was too far away to get there in time to secure the place for the ambulance to reach him. Yeah, it was a wild story. And another one quite recently, there was a taxi driver found hanged in a tree outside of Uppsala, out in like field, just like middle of field, hanging in a tree, killed. And in that case, there was also pretty young people involved. They were like between, I think, 19 and 25 or something like that. And there, this taxi driver, I think, was like 26, 27. He was also quite young. And it was, I think, three guys and 2 girls involved in this. And one of these girls was 16 or 17. And she claimed that this taxi driver had raped her or tried to rape her once when she was in his taxi. And one of the guys involved was her brother, and then her friend and her brother's friend, and her girlfriend, her female friend's boyfriend. So they find this taxi driver, force him out in this field, and strangle him to death and hang him from this tree to make it look like a suicide. And in the end, in this story, no one actually gets sentenced for this, because the Swedish court decides that, how to say, they don't feel that it's proven that anyone in this gang actually killed the taxi driver. So I think they got like 2 or 3 months sentences for griftefridsbrott in Swedish. I think it's like tampering with a body in English. But the court says that it's not proven that this poor taxi driver was killed or that he wasn't already dead when they put him up in that tree. And it even goes as long as to say that it's not even fully proven that this guy was even there. And that's really, really wild, because at the same time, the police could match the rope in which the man had been hanged with a rope that was in one of the guy's car. And they could also match that rope to a receipt and to security cameras in a store where this guy and one of the girls can be seen buying that rope. And still the court says that it's not proven that they had anything to do with this guy's death. But their story was still more or less, he was a child molester, he was a pedophile, he was a rapist. We just did this to protect others. And they also talk about Dumpen and Peter Hunters and how they just had to protect children and girls out there. And that's just like a few of them. I think there's more, or I know there's more cases when the argument for really, really heavy beatings or even murder is they were a pedophile, and look at Dumpen or look at Peter Hunters. A lot of people think this what we have done is okay. We think what we have done is okay. They didn't deserve to live anymore. And in the case of Magnus, but also like the taxi driver and other cases, there weren't even evidence in the end of any wrongdoings from the ones that getting killed. So yeah. In Sweden, it's a very, very controversial opinion actually to have, the one I have, that I don't like this kind of pedo hunter groups. I don't like pedophiles either, of course, but I don't like this taking the law in your own hands kind of thingy, because it doesn't end up well. And too often it ends up with people that have actually not harmed anyone still being killed or hurt in different kind of ways. So yeah. Sorry for that tangent, but yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna show you this typical roasted seaweed snacks. It's like the best thing ever. I like this more than ordinary potato chips or crisps. So just a little snack break to save my voice. Well, that was 1 hour of crime talk. Do we want to talk about anything else and not just horrible, horrible murders happening? Or have you heard any kind of similar crime or story from any other country? Yes, sir. Drinking. Did it. I really understand why people need to remind Yuna and Amy and everyone to go drink a little bit also. And not forget to drink. Because it's easy to do. And when you go live like this, since you pretty much are talking to yourself. So if you are not saying stuff or more or less all the time, it gets very, very quiet. And that's not that fun to watch. So yeah, it's easy to forget that you need to drink. Exactly. And when Eri was still on, she got so busy talking about Chinese culture and favorite foods and stuff like that, that she forgot both to drink and sometimes to finish the order she was on. But no one complained, it was just cute. Don't mind my children screaming in the background. They are just dramatic teens. So yeah. It's always fun to listen in a little bit when the kids are talking with each other, because they have so many opinions. And I'm so happy that they also feel safe to share those opinions. Somehow I think these two works together. I have actually with this. Look. I have some cute dogs. And oh, don't get me started on the 7-year-old. He's asleep now, but he has a real flair for the dramatic. And today, before he went to bed, he was playing, and I told him it was time to stop playing and come to bed. And then I told him again, and then I told him again, and then I told him again, and eventually I just had to yell. Note, I was on the top floor of our house, and he was in the bottom. So yes, I needed to raise my voice no matter what for him to hear me down where he was. But I really had to raise my voice like, it's time to go, come to bed. And then I hear his little voice from downstairs, I'm coming now, mama. And then a few seconds later, I'm not even afraid. And I was like, afraid of what? I can tell you, I have 3 boys. They know how to be dramatic, but maybe just in a little bit of different kind of ways. Hey, I love to have kids. I think they are super funny most of the time, but yeah, they are. It's a wild ride, and I used to compete in barbecue, and I was and I'm still in a few barbecue groups, and in these groups absolutely majority of the members, are men, because everyone knows that the barbecue is for men or something. But oh my god, the drama in these groups, it's unbelievable. It's so much drama. And then they go around and about, oh, girls are so dramatic, da 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 da. And when I hear that, I feel like, yeah, join a barbecue group, and then you go in and say something like, the best way to grill a hamburger is to pre-cook it, or something like that, and then just watch the drama unfolds. It's hysterical. It's so much fun, but it's just crazy. And I have witnessed for real guys in barbecue groups getting booted because they started to threaten other members over if you should pre-boil your ribs or not. Where some guys was like, of course, the best way to do your thick pork ribs is you boil them first in some kind of stock, and then you put them on the grill to get this in the smoke taste and stuff like that. And others that goes like, you can't boil them. If you boil them, you just destroy them. And that ending up in like death threats and act of internet violence. It's really, really wild. And then they go and say that girls are so dramatic. Exactly, Sarah. There's so much drama. But it's kind of fun. But yeah, I learned quite fast that no matter what kind of group you are in, there will be drama. And that's what we're seeing now as well with Hello Kitty. Most of the times it's chill. Everyone is nice. It's lovely. You have people sending gifts to each other and stuff like that. And then still there's someone that just need to get in there and start drama, just for a heck of it. Yeah. And sometimes you get it's so, the drama can be fun in some ways also, because depending on what kind of drama it is and why it is. But I don't know, I think the drama with little kids are often kind of funny because they are dramatic over such cute things. And I remember when my older were teeny tiny, little tots, and they could be upset over something, and they always went to like, this is the worst day I have ever had, and then it can be like, we had been to something fun that they really, really enjoyed doing. And on the way home from like the zoo or something like that, we had to say no to something they wanted. And that no ended up in like, this is the worst day ever. I have never had such a bad day in my life. And I know it's not nice to laugh at this, but you kind of have to, I feel like. Right, no llama no drama llama. Så mycket drama. I used to work as a teacher and actually studied to become a teacher for the youngest ages in Sweden, for the grades 1 to 6. And yeah, it was so much drama with those young young children as well. And sometimes the drama could be like someone had taken a ball during recess that someone else thought that they should have, and then if not handled by the adults, that kind of drama could go on for like the whole week, with everyone having thoughts about who was right and who was wrong, and being really, really upset. So, boop. Well, I guess, Sarah, your 5-year-old had a terrible birthday. Uh, I was so I was laughing so hard. My one of my kids said that I was such a bad and strict parent because I said that they couldn't have candy for dinner. And I was like, yeah, ask your friends how often they are allowed to have candy for dinner or candy at all, and then get back to me. And and he actually asked. And after that, I never heard anything again about me being the worst kind of mother because they couldn't have candy. Nej, jag söker bostad. Jag bor i en liten håla som heter Vittaryd. Den ligger i Småland. Ganska nära, eller mellan Värnamo och Ljungby. Vi kan ju kolla upp. Vad det är. Mitt ute i skogen. I'm kind of impressed, Sarah, that she had some kind of clue of how many gifts she got last year. That's actually cool. Oh, here we have a little Doggy Series makeup brushes. But there's one makeup brush I think that has decided to grow legs and disappear somewhere. There should be 5, but I can only find 4. Also, have you seen the Sailor Moon notebooks? I can't believe how you are supposed to write in these things, because the pictures are so cute and there's no lines. Here are like a notebook page. That's one, not one. Here is no one, but Luna. No one. Just a little small part with lines. So I need to figure out how to use this book because I love it. But at the same time, I don't know how to use it without destroying it. That's good, Sarah. In the future, at least, it will be good that she keep tabs, that she remembers. Yeah, Sakibasad, I got like from my family or like my parents, most of the times I got maybe one gift that was like a gift that I said like this is something I get because I really wanted it. And then I maybe got 1 or 2 gifts that was more like this is gifts for you that you need. You know, like new shoes or something like that. Winter jacket and so on. One thing I have never ever getting over, and I think I will never ever get over this, is when I was like, can I be in like 14, 15, something like that. I used to be really, really good at skiing, and in a special ski sport where you ski with dog. And I had won money to shop for technical things. So, you can buy TV and radio, stuff like that. And this was just when digital cameras had started to be popular and not as pricey anymore. So one birthday for me, so it would probably be the year I turned 14, I just asked for a digital camera. I was like, please, 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 can I have a digital camera? But the money I had on that card I had won, it was not enough to buy the whole, the camera by itself. So I needed to get money from my parents to buy the camera. So that's why I asked them over and over if I could get a camera. And I won that money in like November, December or something like that. In the middle of the winter, of course, because it was for skiing. But my birthday is in July. So, I probably asked for that damn camera for like half a year. And then my mom decides to, yeah, okay, I can have a camera. So I was so happy, and I got, for my birthday, a Nikon Coolpix. Kind of a really, really good camera for a time. And I was so happy. I got my camera. And at my birthday, my mom says, well, this camera is not only for you now, so you can't take it and, have it at your room and use whenever. It will be a family camera, and she will take it, and I have to ask her when I need to use it. So she will keep it safe, she said. And I had no choice but to say okay and give her the camera. And then I never saw the camera again, except for when she was using it. So I never got to use that camera for myself. And a couple of years later, when I graduated from high school, I said again that since I never got to use the camera that I actually had won money for, and paid about half of, I wanted a new camera now, a camera that was only for me. And at my graduation, I got a camera, and it was such a bad camera. My parents had gone and buy like the least expensive camera they could find. And it was so bad. So in the end, I more or less never used it because it took horrible pictures and it was just not worth using. And to this day, this is like 20 years ago, and I'm still mad about that damn camera. So yeah, I'm also a little bit like an elephant, Sarah. Never forget. Do pancake cake. Sockerbussan. Have you seen those? That's actually really tasty. My youngest, was actually at a birthday not that long ago. For a girl in his class who turned 6, and they served pancake cake. So I think it feels a little bit yeah, sleep well when you get to bed. So good. Kanske en stund på kvällen, sockerpåsar. Vi får se om jag hinner. Eventuellt ska jag på bio. I 4. Ja. Okay, you don't have to see my fugly face. Thank you, Sarah. My home attire is more or less always some kind of oversized t-shirt with a silly prints on. well, not all. I have a lot of silly t-shirts at work as well, actually, but not as oversized. Like yesterday, my t-shirt at work was a black t-shirt with the text "Big fan of human rights," and another day this week I had a t-shirt with print, like supernatural print, not supernatural as in scary movie kind of things, but as in the TV series Supernatural. So it's with car on it and wordings: driver shoots the music, shotgun shots his pie hole. Another favorite of mine is "Here Comes Your Little Ray of Sarcastic Sunshine." My colleagues like that one also. So yeah. How is your day go? What are you working with, by the way, Sarah? I thought you said at least before that you were working also. Or maybe I just dreamt that part. Hello. What oh, my husband's aunt, she used to be a cardiac surgeon. Good things my wording is working. But I think she became retired like 2 months ago or something like that. So yeah. So she used to be this chief surgeon on a clinic in Malmö. So yeah, fun fact or something like that. But I think that doing the monitoring is equally important, because how will the surgeons etc. know what to do otherwise if they don't have all the right data to work from? I think for me it has depend a little bit on what kind of heart monitors it has been. When I have needed to have that on. So when there's the ones that are more secure, that ones I think have hurt. But then when I have had like less secured ones, like on the emergency center, those doesn't really feel anything for me, when they take them off. So. So, and what are you doing, Haley? For work or for hobby, or what are you crafting on right now? Yeah, right. And along, I got an incredible heart scare, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. As a side effect of medication I took. And I was driving home, and suddenly my heart just started to race so bad. Couldn't breathe. I luckily I could really fast pull my car over to the side of the road, because I almost passed out. And then from where I was, I had like 15 minutes to the emergency room at my closest hospital, so I just went there. And that was one of the times that it actually hurt a little bit to take off the EKG in the end, because I had it on for like 5 hours straight. I feel you, Haley. The main reasons I had to pause my crochet and I just started with this a little bit is because my fingers are not in any way, shape, or form wanting to do the things I want them to do right now. So so this felt a little bit easier. Let's see. I just remember, I almost forgot. I did this the last time as well. This was Magnus. Not the best picture maybe, but yeah. So here's another picture of Magnus. And this was Felix, or is Felix. So yeah. And that's the 19-year he who filmed the murder. His name was Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, Felix, and Magnus. Oops. Where were we? Oh yay, 2 days. God damn it. If we hadn't realized what the problem was with my heart, I would have had. It was actually planned, but they stopped it. I was in line to have a 1 week continuous heart monitoring, and I'm so happy that I didn't have to go through with it, because that would have been not fun at all, I think. I have, let's see if I can find it. I just need to put this on, Sarah. When it comes to knitting and stuff like that, I have I just have to go to the right box. Wrong one. And this is one of my ongoing projects that I need to start up on again. And that's knitted. But I had another one that I was thinking about showing, but I can't find it right now. That's a little bit more finished than this one. Yeah, people can definitely be allergic to the tape. I know I am. That's part of why I was so happy that I didn't have to go for a whole week with a monitoring. It's kind of interesting that we know that a lot of people are allergic to that kind of tape. And I can get, if I go to take my blood drawn or something like that, I need to take the tape away really fast that they use to that they use afterwards, because I'm allergic to that one too. And it's like, shouldn't we be able to find out some kind of tape that people don't need to be allergic to this way? It shouldn't be that hard, but maybe it's just me thinking that it's easy. Well, do we have anyone in need of makeup brushes? I don't know. I felt like doing makeup brushes, but I actually don't use makeup at all. So this will be something to sell, I think. And I need to find the last one of this blue so I can do my doggy set complete. Right, I think the makeup brushes are super cute. I just, yeah. I will probably just put them up in my Etsy shop. Mm. This Batsmaru wanted to come and say hello. It jumped out of my box with silicone beads and turtles. Oh. Are you guys working this weekend, or are you off like me, or what fun are you up to? That's nice, Sarah. Since I work as a teacher at the university, I always have the weekends off. So yeah. No, tomorrow is the saddest. Or is it tonight? Amy is off. Yay, Scorpio! That's cool. We're starting to getting to that time around here. I will actually start to look out for when they have this car boot sales thing, because they are usually very cheap to get a spot on. So I will probably try my luck at one of those the first thing before I dare to to maybe get a booth on something more serious but scarier. Okay, let's see. We have the doggos. Makeup brush set done. If my camera will focus. Come on. Okay, there we go. And the purple diamonds. I actually think I like the purple ones the best, because they feel so fancy. Elena, is it your first time you will have like a real vendor booth? Yeah, I did, Sarah, in the bottom of the box. So it didn't run very fast or far, luckily for me. This one I am trying to figure out what I want to do with. I will keep this. I will do probably some kind of keychain for myself. I just need some inspiration on how to make it work. I am very impressed, Sarah, that you are actually going to do it. I think it's super, super cool. I am a big fan of minions, so that minion tag is really, really perfect for me. Like I said, I need to find my inspiration to how feeling it. It's just throwing yourself out there. I'm actually more nervous now about making my very first own crochet pattern and putting that up on my Etsy as well, or maybe I will just put it up on Ribbler instead. Keeping it a little bit separated. Why? Okay, drive safe, Sarah. Where is the festival, Luna? I don't think your husband should be so negative. Ah, cool. One day I actually wish to go to the States, and maybe when my kids are grown up and I can go without them. I want to go and then do a real road trip, like see if I can maybe get visa to stay for like a month and then just go driving all of the states. That would be super cool. Hello, Limpaway. Welcome. I hope you are well. Keychain. How are you doing today? Great to see you here. Okay. What time is it over there for you now? Is it like 5, 6 in the afternoon or something, or in the evening or something like that? Or am I just really, really bad at guessing? Here it's 11 p.m. So I am quite a few hours ahead. I'm working on my Ghibli collection. This will be a super cute kind of keychain, I think, having this together. Yeah, I have problems with sleep sometimes. Even if I'm really, really tired, I can't sleep, no matter how hard I try. And those times, I always check in on Amy if she's on. But when I have had periods of very, very bad sleep, I get super tired instead and get to sleep really, really early. So like this last week, I don't think I have managed to be in any of Amy's life because I have fallen asleep too early. But Juno's lives, for me, they start around like 10 a.m. And Cowboy, I think, starts like an hour later. And Aria, I have more or less never seen live because she's on in the worst of times for me. But I've seen Kiki and V on TikTok sometime. Oops. This feels like really, really big from being nail charms. These are my favorite right now. This bracelet is made with the alloy beads. Especially this one is a super, super cute. And I have the Totoro mix, but I didn't buy enough. That's all I can say. I didn't buy enough. So now I just like yeah, all the beads on this one is from Hello Kitty Nails. Yeah. From the alloy mix. So I think I got only 200 mils of the Totoro mix, and that was definitely not enough. But I know others wanted it too, and I felt bad to take too much. I am also a huge fan of Kirby, so I'm going to do something with my Kirby beads soon too. I think I have... Here's all my color changing roses. I have a lot of those. And of course, the super cute tiny turtles. I have bought that much once, and that was only now to get that super, super, super big extra bead because you had to buy 800 mils to get it. So yeah, I bought a lot, but that was a one-time thing. I'm not gonna use this today. I have actually taken I have these as inspiration now for what you can actually do with nail charms on actual on real nails, on press-on nails. The only thing is because of my work and kids and everything, I can't use these long nails. I found Totoro beads on Etsy too, and with this right kind of walk searching around, I also found it on Temu. Yeah, but it seems to be different because some big charms, like this one, this charm I got with like 300 mils, but then other charms is higher because but the one I got for 800 mils, it was like, well, probably will be the size of this tray or something. We will see. Yeah, it was probably, yeah, it was Amy. But one thing I like now is at least that they have changed so that the new mixes is not only coming up when Aria or Amy is live. During there's daytime, but that they actually have beads coming up at night time for them, so to say, because it was kind of not that encouraging to know that beats were coming up when Amy went live, but if you fell asleep like I did, a lot of the times they were sold out in the morning because everyone in Aria and Amy's life bought everything. So at least that is a good thing. Yeah, I think Amy is super, super sweet. Where the heck did my turtles go? There was my turtles. I think all of them have like their pro and con, and like I like cowboy, but if I'm too tired or something, I can't really watch him because he's funny and all, but he talks so much. So if I have like a headache and stuff like that, he's not the best one. But on the other hand, other times, Una can be maybe even a little bit too soft or slow. I don't really know how to say it. And then at those times, I like the more upbeat feeling of cowboy. And Amy for me is like the perfect background sound to sleep to. Mm. It really is. Yeah, I don't understand how some of them manage it, but I also get that there are some people sitting around like really being prepared, and then as soon something goes up, they buy like 500 mil or something like that, and that make it sells out more or less right away. And that's of course is great for Kiki and the team and stuff like that, but it's a little bit boring for the rest of us that doesn't get a chance because we're asleep. But now when they release both during Amy's live and Arya's live, it's easier, I think. I have a ghost. Oh yeah, made me think. Do you guys believe in ghosts? Any of you, or is it just me? Yeah, no, the Facebook's people are. I mean, I have seen a little bit crazy, but it's nothing on how some of them, the orders they have been placing. It's wild. It's really wild. And sometimes it feels like on Facebook, when they say someone has just a small order, the small order is like $500. Yeah. I have had some ghost encounters in my life, and that's why I believe in ghosts. Okay. I hope this will. Yeah, no, and for me, I think also one reason that for the main reason I like YouTube the most, or that's where I hang the most, is it's the fact that, like, when I work, for example, and I can't be that active in chat anyway. I like the fact that I can have the YouTube live on, but still go over to other apps and do other things and just have my YouTube window on top of the screen, you know. But on Facebook or Instagram, etc., if you if you leave the app, you leave the live, you can't have it shown like picture in picture. But also, I feel like in the Facebook chat, when I've been in there and talking a bit on stuff like that, it goes fast in another kind of way than what it does in YouTube, and in a way where it feels like people are being fast only to kind of make the host a little bit maybe unsure of what is happening or having a hard time catching up, because the chat on YouTube is also slow, or on Facebook is also slower than on YouTube. And it feels like some people also use that kind of to an advantage to get more stuff, to be able to get freebies and stuff like that. And I think maybe it's because it's, as far as I know, it's only YouTube that is moderated. They can't have moderators on Facebook or Instagram or on TikTok, etc. So it also have a tendency to get a little bit more rough because of that, I think. And I think it was very, very clear with Cowboy as new that some people took advantage because he didn't know how much he didn't know yet how much he was supposed to give, and what they were supposed to be having. So some people use that to get a bit extra. I know I saw someone get like 2 big charms for a small order that she wasn't normally supposed to get that much, because he didn't know, and she was like, oh, can I just get that one too, and I really love that one, can I get that one too? And before others could say something in chat, he had already gone ahead and given her extras. And I think that's why they also get, harder and harder on when you can get extras or how much extra you can get and stuff like that. It's always the ones taking advantage that ruin it for everyone else. Yeah, probably. But I think at the same time, that might be also a reason for the discussions we have had in the Discord group about things being taken out. it might also be a little bit why the things happens now, and also why the customer service is kind of getting worse, with Kiki going this like, it's not my problem, and so on. Because also think that people before have taken a bit of an advantage on that thing too, like to get extra beads and stuff like that. So I get why it might be happening, even if I think it's not a good thing. But I don't know if I make any sense. It's been discussion in the Facebook group that someone saw that there was like 2 bigger beads put in her order, and then she shouldn't probably have been getting 2 of those. So they went back in and took one of the beads out that has already been in her bag. Yep. I feel like the refills is also different between hosts, how those helping, how much they are actually refilling as long as possible and stuff like that. So if you're ordering like late on in some cases Amy's live, or it was really easy to see on Jerry's live, like in the end of her lives sometimes, that she was really scraping in the bottom and no one refilled for her or seemed to care about refilling. Bye for now. So and that's good. I really miss Jerry. But it's good that refills could be done if you just gave a little heads up on it. But I think it's quite obvious that some of the assistants are a little bit more on it to see that refills need to be done before the customers says anything about it. Exactly. I think it's very obvious with Yuna and Betty when people ask about the big charms and what charms there are, that she always turn to Betty and like, can you say, do you find any charms? What charms can we have for this mix? And then Betty get back to her with like, oh, for this mix you can have this or this beads or whatever, rather than it being Yuna or even Kiki really deciding. One of the things I don't really like right now with all the beads is how popular it is with all of these. Let's see if we can get this zoomed in. Come on. Like these, there we go. This is some kind of bows with the CC logo on. And I don't know why. Why they need to be there. And there are also bows with other, I have other CC bows as well. And in the some of the beads mixes, there's the Lulu and Gucci and, well, all those big designer names. And I don't like them. Are we supposed to like them? Do I have to like them? Should I change? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's quite clear that Amy doesn't care as much who is mod or not, but Yuna does. But also feels like with her it's just like she can't really catch up in the chat and keeping track the same way. I think, or at least I feel like Amy has more, she's more on it herself, what's happening in the chat, and can sometimes also get in like tell people things about what's happening in the chat, or like if they should leave something, let it be, or what something is about, and you know things herself. And I feel Yuna get more easily kind of lost or distracted or not sure. Yeah, exactly. Amy feels like a extra mom for everyone, really checking in what's happening, and like when someone, so I was in chat and someone was like accusing Yuna, I mean Amy, of not filling her bags. Even before, mods started to answer up to that person, Amy was on it, right away on it, and explaining why things look like the way they did, and so on. So she is just a little bit faster on it, and making sure herself to know what's going on. And that's why I feel like Yuna sometimes is more in need, not in need. Oh, I'm starting to get tired now. I forgot the word. Wherever. It was nothing important. If I can't remember it, it was nothing important. Yeah, exactly. I don't remember now how. I don't know. Yet there was like, wasn't she just like 22 or something like that? And Yuna is a little bit younger even, and then Amy a little bit older. I mean, after all, Cowboy is one of the oldest now, and he's only 27. Oh my god, I'm starting to feel so old. So yeah, it's easy to understand also in that way why Amy has an easier time to take a bit of control herself. Oh yeah. Okay. I really thought Amy was younger. Still older than like Yuna and Yeti and so on, but young. I don't know. It may be also, you read so much into their voices, and Yuna has a little bit of a darker voice, and therefore it's easier to think of her like older than she actually is. I used to be like that when I was younger. Yeah, it does. But I still think that Yuna's voice sounds a little dark, but that's just me. And it's not any kind of hard truth just because I feel a certain way. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, I guess then this is like some of maybe Yuna's very first like real job also. If she's just 19. And that could also explain a bit like why it feels in some way like Kiki is harder on her when it comes to what she can say or do on her lives, because I don't think she could be as out there as Cowboy is, for example, or even Arya. Yeah, these are the things I will have to put in my shop, especially this all of this little, because I have way too thick of a hair to be using small hair clips like this. They don't hold in my hair. So these are just for the shop. And a little bit, I guess I just think they are fun to do. What are your favorite things to do? To bead, I mean. Is it like keychains or the pens, or what are stuff you like to get back onto doing? I think I know Cowboy was at least joking about it, that he met V through work and then became drinking buddy with Kiki later on. But it may also be kind of like the platform, what is being censored or getting them warnings and stuff like that. That will also impact on what they can be allowed to say or do. And I think YouTube may be a little bit faster in reacting than Facebook, even though Facebook doesn't let whatever follow goes either. So yeah. But for me, it doesn't really matter. Like if I want to watch someone telling dirty jokes and being a bit more out there, I will go watch Cowboy. And if I don't feel like it, I will watch Yuna. And I think she's lovely. So I have a really, really hard time understanding those trying to, put the different hosts against each other, going into some other host live and be like, oh, you should like do like this and this instead because the other host like does it like this, or just going in and being negative. And it's like, if you don't like them, just don't order from this host and wait for the one you like. Yeah. I'm all of this political stuff. It's like I get annoyed that it has to impact me, who is in a country that has nothing to do with any of it. Just because USA has a president that wants to go on some kind of ego trip. It's like, I don't get it. It's a kind of transparent super glue that's a little bit more flexible. And even if it dries quite fast, it's not drying so fast that you don't have the time to put beads on and actually adjust your things a little bit, and then and before it gets really, really stuck on there. But when it's done and it's hardened, it's really, really hard. It works very well. So the ones I had when I did my soap dispenser, it had worked very, very well. And it holds for it being in the bathroom with the water and everything. It works super well. And I like that it is a clear one, that when it's dried, you don't really see where the glue has gone on. But I'm waiting now for that kind of cream glue to see if I can make some stuff with all my charms and the cream glue, and how that will work. Yeah, I've seen that too, and I was in live when and that was with Amy. And someone come in and like started to complain about the mods because they have told her off about it being rude to go in on someone else's live and start telling that person that they like another host better. And she just couldn't understand why people get mad at her for like, in that case, them being in Yuna's live talking about how much she thought that Amy was the best host. And I guess she thought she would getting more people agreeing with her when she was on Amy's live, but people were still like, why do you need to do that? That's just like crazy things. So much drama. Well, this is your cue to buy nail charms the next time. And they're adding more and more stuff. I can't show it because I don't have a UV light and stuff like that, but several of these little roses, if someone will wear this outside in the summer, they will change colors, which I think is quite cool. Right? If they're regulars, they would know like that no one will take kindly to going in and start saying how much you like a certain host to another host. It's like, it's just crazy. And for me, like, it's fine if you like one of the hosts better or something, but right? I think I have one. Yeah. I haven't made this. This is one I have actually gotten, but this is clearly done with the fancy beads done with nail charms. Yeah. Amy is really fast on it, and it doesn't matter if like people are talking about liking her the most or someone else the most. She will just like, there's no need for this kind of talk, stop it. And I think that's great. Yeah, that can be confusing, of course. I think Amy do like to answer a few questions, just not too personal stuff. But the mods are very fast on like no questions at all almost. And I thought first that this was maybe some kind of geeky rule, just to make the hosts a little bit more safe and guard their private life. But then when I went into one of Jetti's lives, I was so surprised the first time I saw her live with her, when she jumped in and just did like one live on YouTube before she went over to Facebook. And she like directly start talking about her fiance and her life and what kind of food she likes. Show pictures of herself and so on. And suddenly I was like, oh, okay, it's not some kind of rule for the host that they are not allowed to talk about themselves or anything in that way. So, and that was part of why I enjoyed Jetti's lives so much, because you could actually talk with her, and she had it was clear that she had so much fun talking about her life and her culture and stuff like that, and teach every one of us in chat about Chinese culture and stuff like that. Yeah, and I see now also in chat a lot of people coming in that's new and ask like, where are you from? So I get why they sometimes, maybe I would guess a little bit more like a joke, say, can you guess? But going and silence you because you asked, it's kind of wild, actually. Oops. Give me an idea of what to do with this claw clip. And in the meantime, I will do a bracelet of this kind. Exactly. I like most of the mods on YouTube, but it's clear that it gets to be a very different kind of vibe when you have mods versus where you don't have it. And also, if you go to Hello Kiki on the webpage, and at least for me, where I have an account, if I go into my account and check on more information, they have a visitor address for where they are operating from, the whole address. So it's not like impossible to find out where they are. some of them do more than others, and yeah. And I think it's like a little bit from day to day also. It's clear sometimes they're having a bad day, and there's way more of a tightrope when before mods come in and like tell people off to stop saying certain things or not go on into certain kind of topics and stuff like that. And other times they are having a better day and people can talk more freely. Hello, Susanne. Yep. Especially, I mean, I am not one that like too many rules. That's not really me. So that's why I've said that like in the Discord, more or less anything goes, as long as you don't start to bully someone or being like that kind of general asshole. But if you're just playing nice, it's okay. So I don't know, even if Hello Kitty is where we started off or have our kind of a home base, the way I think about it is like, I don't care. Put in what, if you find funny beads somewhere else, let me know. Or good materials or whatever. Because in the end, the beading is the focus or what connects us, and not just beading with beads from Hello Kitty. But that's just how I see it, and as long as no one else wants to jump in and be part of the Discord moderation, I am also almighty. So what I say goes. I can't believe the goat versus cow discussion, because I never ever saw something else than it being a goat. I think it's super funny that some people actually made that out to be a cow. I think you can't get too many of the naughty beats actually. So on Temu also they have a lot of the naughty beats. Hello, Mood. Okay, can someone tell me the answer to this? Because I actually don't know. Where do fish go to work? I need to know too. So if someone can, I don't know, Google the answer and tell me. Okay, that was a bad one. But someone need to tell Cowboy because I think he will love it. Official lists. That was a dad joke if I ever heard one. Okay, now I probably need to keep that pen just because every time I see it, I will be laughing so hard at what I now know is the answer. Well, now you need to tell us, Sarah, what is your 5-year-old's favorite joke? Okay, and what is a cat's favorite color? When I was a kid, my favorite joke was, and I actually need to think about how it began, but I think it was like, how do you put 3 giraffes into a car? And the correct answer is, you open the door and let them in. And then you follow it up with, okay, but how do you put 3 elephants into the car? You open the door, take out the giraffes, and put in the elephants. Your daughter sounds like a lot of fun, Sarah. Oh yeah, and then the story continues, or the joke continues with, there is a meeting where the king of the animals, the lion, is calling all the animals. And all the animals came except 3 who didn't make it. And of course the answer is the elephants, because they are stuck in a car. And the last part, you are walking in the jungle and you get to a alligator river. How do you get over? And the answer is, you swim, because the alligators are at a meeting with the king of the animals. So yeah, I used to annoy my poor friends with this. I don't know if you can even call it a joke. When I was younger. And by that I mean, I think I stopped telling this joke when I was like 25. I'm a late bloomer. Like Mood, you really need to build up the story. I have bought these bracelets that I'm using now. These are from Temu. They were cheap, and it's, I think, more or less the same ones that you get when you did the lucky game. At least they look the same. So even the clasps, I think, look the same. Let's see. You can see these are the ones. These are one that I got with my alloy beads from Kiki. If you see the clasp pattern and the heart in the end. And this one I paid, or I bought from Temu in a pack of 10. So yeah. So now you can see they work. They are actually really good. So yes, when you can get to it, buy them. Click the checkout button on your cart. I have things in my Temu cart as well now. I need to check out soon. I'm going to buy some bead wire in rose gold and standard gold instead of only the silver ones from Kiki. I was thinking. I don't know what my husband went today. No daddy ducky. No, he's down in his room playing Kirby, I think, or something else. Today I told him that he was not allowed to start up his online game because he was on the way to do it. And was like, if you start the online game now, you will just forget that I am going to do my live. And then we will have the same problem again with him not being able to stop playing because he's middle in some kind of an online campaign that he has to finish before he can check out. So yeah. Okay. Last one for the night. I have like $50 in Temu credits that I need to use. I just have to make up my mind on what to use them on. So that's actually my main issue right now to why I don't check out. I recently had some kind of, I don't know, I was bored. I went through some of my Temu orders and actually asked for refunds on stuff that I just hadn't bothered with before, and also checked for some of the things that I ordered more recently, to get refunds for the price drops. And that's why I have quite a lot of Temu credits right now. So if you're able, maybe check on that and get a little bit of money back. I forgot my music today, but I think you can handle it all right. Now it's that was a great choice. It's like, if you can get a chance to buy Totoro, take the chance to buy Totoro. And there we go. Okay. It's starting to be really late here. Yeah, it's almost half past midnight. So I am going to go off to bed. And in the morning I will have the time to take a photo of all my new things to put up on my little store. And I will say thank you for watching. If anyone wants to go back and watch the true crime part, I think I will do like this with going forward, like with this live and the last live. I will cut out like the first hour where the true crime part is, and then upload it by themselves. So the whole live will still be up, but I will also put up the true crime part by itself for anyone want to go back and just listen to the true crime part and not the 2 hours of general talking afterwards, you know. And I hope that will work for you guys as well. So I will see when I will be back next time with the crafting and stuff like that, but maybe a short while tomorrow or something in the week. And otherwise, I will see you next Friday or Saturday for a new craft and crime. So take care, and we'll see you in the chat, and I will see you at Discord. Bye!